Good evening, everybody. How are you? It is my absolute pleasure to introduce you all to the amazing Christine Schuler Deschryver, also very affectionately known as Mama C. I know you have some information in your program, but I'll just do a brief introduction. Mama C lives in Bukavu and has just been advocating for the rights of women and girls in the Democratic Republic of Congo, just doing some extraordinary work. So thank you so much for being with here today.
Thank you and good evening.
So you've seen the show a couple times now.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you're good. So can you just tell us what resonated for you tonight, seeing it for maybe the third or fourth time?
No more because I saw it in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think I can come every night. Well, I don't know what to say because it's so deep and. When she's talking about like girls like Jane, she's still there and she just had 11 surgery. And also the way she was fighting, Eve was fighting to survive the cancer, and I was fighting, with UNICEF to build the center. And I think that's the only way, that's the only reason she survived. Because she didn't want to abandon all of us. And it was like a dream and an achievement for her, to realize the dream that the women of Congo had. Because when she came in 2007, when she asked the women what they wanted, they didn't ask for money, they didn't ask for nice clothes, they just asked for a city of joy. And I remember because we were like a city of joy in Congo. Why that name? So they say, you asked us, what do we want? And now we have to choose the name. It was like, wow, joy.
And you've been doing so much work in the DRC before City of Joy started. Can you just talk a little bit about the challenges of getting City of Joy up and kind of how you had to convince people of the work that you did?
Yeah, I think I was also born as an activist because I was born from a forbidden wedding. My mother is Congolese, black, she was never at school. And my father was the son of the worst colonialist, Belgian colonialist. So, of course, they didn't want my father to marry. And I just saw, since I was a child, I saw my mother suffering just because she was black. So, even at school, I started, like Eve, I think that's why we have so many things in common. I started, fighting for the black people who were at the Belgian school, because I was at the Belgian school, and because I was an impossible child. So my father decided to send me to the boarding school in Belgium when I was 12.
Okay.
And yes, like Catholic school, or you become a nun.
A totally different environment.
Yeah. And so that was it. And then I worked for a big institution for 13 years. During the war, I couldn't leave Congo. I just left in 98, 96, because I'm tall, and it was the war. The war. When the war started, they thought I was half Tutsi. Because we live next door to Rwanda, so I was almost killed twice in front of my children. So I left and I spent to finish the school year with my children in Belgium. But then I decided to go back, and it was the worst time of the war, and we went back with the children. Because when I asked my mother, to go with me, to live with me, she was like, and what about my mother? She lives in a village, I cannot take her with me. So it was like, I cannot abandon my mother and all all my colleagues. So our children were studying under bombs. And I don't know, today as a mother, I feel a little bit guilty. You say guilty? A little bit guilty. But that was the time I I think I became radical because I just saw people, you know, dying, suffering. I remember because at the beginning I didn't want to meet Eve. I say Eve in French. I didn't want to meet Eve because I was so sick of celebrities. Because during the war, you know, they came with all the paparazzi and the press magazine, and you need to see all these people who pretend they came to save us.
Yeah.
So when they talked to me about Eve, I was like, no, thank you, another celebrity. So it really took time before I was in touch with her. And one day, you know, they brought 2 little girls who were raped. And I think they were 4, one was 4, and a baby. And a baby, the 6-month baby, died in my arms. So I took the piece of paper where she wrote her address, name, and phone number. And because I never responded to her emails. So I don't know why, I went to the hospital and I was crying so much. And I looked at myself, you know, in the, I don't know how you say in English, rétroviseur in French. You know,
it's like the rear view mirror?
Yes. And I really thought it was blood instead of tears. And I didn't even know who to call because all my friends, they always told me, you know, Christine, it's too much for you. Look at you, because I also became anorexia. I felt guilty, you know, like eating and people dying around me. So I was like, who am I gonna call to share, you know, those bitter tears? And then I took this piece of paper and I called Eve. She was in Haiti. I was weeping. I was like, I don't know if you remember me. She was like, of course I remember you. And then I just told her, you know, Eve, I think for the first time of my life I can kill. And then I told her the story and she told me, I'm coming, and she came. And I was still working, you know, for the big institution. So I became, because I was my own boss in Bukavu, so I gave the work to the staff and I kept like my time translating for her. And then I heard, you know, like the worst of the worst stories. I thought like the woman, the Angelique. And now just a few weeks ago, I have another Angelique at City of Joy with the same story.
Okay.
So it's very difficult, and I'm so grateful that I met this woman, because she changed. First of all, she changed my life. Because by the time she met me, I was dying. I didn't believe in myself because I wanted, you know, to change things.
Yeah.
You know, as a mother, when you bury babies, when grandmothers, I remember this grandmother, you know, sometimes when I tried to sleep, she took off her clothes and then she was looking at me. She was speechless. She was like, what are they looking? What were they looking at this dry body? So we have to live, you know, with things like this, and without having a center like City of Joy, because
where does everybody go?
Yeah, you know, it's a place of joy, because we have all those stories, but we have so much joy. We laugh all the time together with the girls. Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about how many people have gone through the center so far?
Already 1,028, so it's time. And we have amazing success stories, and I think, like Eve said, now it's time, you know, to organize something big like a conference and to talk about revolution.
Wow.
Because the change will come from the grassroots and not from the top. And that's also one of the reasons I don't believe in institutions and in NGOs, because, you know, by the time you give the money to the top, go with all the corruption. So you have to work with the people from the grassroots. Yes.
And as you're thinking about building the revolution, which we're all very excited about, what do you find are the challenges or the narratives that you have to shift in order to make the kind of change that you're wanting to make?
You know, everything that we have as a challenge is the government. Because I think we are doing the impossible, but like, we don't have electricity. Sometimes we don't have roads. We don't have water. So we have a center with, because we used to have 90 women for 6 months. So can you imagine, we don't have water with all the women. So we have to go and buy water in gallons.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far do you have to go for that?
not too far away because we have amazing neighbors. They are Catholic priests, Italian, but they are the priests because they're amazing. They're really amazing.
And can you talk a little bit about, kind of just paint a picture for us what your kind of typical day is? What's the in and out of your days when you're at the center?
Well, it's like a school. So we start early in the morning, and then we have a pause. And when the girls arrive, we separate them. We have 3 groups. The one who were never at school, and then like the primary school, and then some of them went to college. So the one who were never at school, they have literacy classes. Also, they have to know their rights. We have self-defense classes, nutrition classes, and ecology is also a huge part because Congo is the second lung of humanity. And so we have to teach them how to protect also Mother Nature. Because at the same time, we have another agriculture program. We bought a 300-acre farm, a V farm. Yeah, so we produce all the food, for City of Joy. And we also, of course, we use art therapy, like theater, singing, and all these. I know many people, they say, okay, like the Africans, they are born, they can sing, they can dance. But and also the idea, I have to say, I don't know if you've heard about the 1 billion rising. The idea came, when Eve was in Congo, and she saw women, injured, raped, were dancing, and the space they took. So then she got the idea that we can use a dance, to end violence. And
when people leave the center, what kind of stuff are they doing once they leave, and how long are people typically there?
They stay for 6 months, and they go back into their community. Some of them they stay in town. They go back to school, because at the beginning when they arrive, we have a formulaire. They have to talk about the dream they have. So, for example, we have the one who wanted to work in a hotel. So at the end, we realize her dream. She's working in a hotel. Yes. Other one, they want to go to school, so we send them to school. Otherwise, they go into their community and they share what they learn at City of Joy. And one of the things that is really important, by the time they know that they have rights, so everything changed. Because in Bukavu, when the father died, it's only the eldest son who has the heritage. Even if you're 13, 15, 20 children, no. And if you're a girl, forget about it.
Oldest son.
Yeah. And they live with a kid, with money, and they have communication classes. So we also give them a cell phone. So we are in touch with all of them. We do have 1,028 graduated. So we just lost the contact with 12 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they got married, they invite us. So we try to send a delegation because they are really like our children.
Yeah.
And now they are also partner of V-Day, to recruit other women and girls to come at City of Joy. Yeah. And we are creating, this network. And 2 years ago, at Eve's birthday, she organized a fundraising to buy lands, for women. Wow. So now they have, for example, if they come let's say they come from Boston, all the women from Boston, they have their own land, like a community. And at City of Joy, we buy food from them. So they have incomes. And some of them, after leaving City of Joy, they go to work to the farm because it was, now it's transformed pain to power to planting.
Wow, it's incredible.
And where we live, it's like Eve explained, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, and everything grows there. So
there's lakes and there's mountains.
There's a lake, and also the climate is amazing, and Mother Nature was so generous. And that's how we teach our girls that we have to give back, to Mother Nature, and not just to take everything out of her. And so we recycle everything. We have like compost everywhere. So if you look at the garden now, it's like a garden of Eden. We have flowers, huge The vegetables, they look like GMO. You say GMO, they're so big. Just with the compost. So everything is organic and
Reused.
yeah.
Beautiful. I want to open it up. I'm sure you guys have lots and lots of questions. I'll start right here.
Yeah. How do the men in these communities respond when like the women come back and they're like, oh, you've been at City of Joy, or like what is the general response?
Bad
I'll
reaction.
just repeat the question really quickly for anybody who didn't hear. She's just wondering what the response of the men in the community is to all this tremendous work.
Yeah, of course it's a bad reaction because, women are kind of a subspecies. And by the time you stand up and you speak out, oh my God. So we have, for example, a place where, women, they are so organized and so strong. For example, if they hear that you have a problem, they all come together, in solidarity. So men, all the time, they say, oh, these women, they came from V-Day. Come from V-Day. And by the time they say, they are not polite, I'm like, okay, we succeed, program.
Do you have any allies, any male allies that are supportive in the community?
Do I have what?
Do you have any men that are supportive?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. No, we have amazing men. Even at the office, we have men who are genderized. That's the word we use. Because, also, I told them, for example, as a director, I have some rules. If I see a woman carrying and a man just sitting, then he has problems with me. Because women are queens at City of Joy. So every time they see carrying, you can see all the men coming and say, we have to carry. They're walking, like. No, we have amazing, we cannot generalize. We have amazing men. But we still have this hierarchy. Yeah, power of man.
Sir, on the corner.
I didn't notice any place could be able to donate in this brochure.
I was wondering about where to donate to City of Joy.
Yeah, I think you can go to the website and then go to City of Joy.
Direct.
Yeah.
It's cityofjoy.org. Yeah.
Do you have any franchises in the States or here, or is it all directly
Wondering if there's any other franchises or any other locations of City of Joy outside of Congo.
We have lots of demand. And I think the next City of Joy we would like to open will be in Afghanistan. And also women, and I'm so proud of that women in New Orleans, in the United States, they also want a City of Joy. So it's like, it's amazing for us because it's a program that the women of Congo created. And now many countries, because we have a new film, City of Joy, will come out very soon, and was already in festivals in the US. And many countries, they wrote to us because they want to open a City of Joy. And I really think that every city needs a City of Joy.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you. It's an honor to sit at your feet again. We were at the Barnard filming of the City of Joy film, of the documentary, and it was life-changing. Living in the greatest city in the world and the greatest country, I feel so powerless right now with our administration. Any advice and counsel? It's so difficult every day to read our papers and see what's going on.
She just has a question about the idea of powerlessness here in New York, the feeling of powerlessness, and wondering if you have any advice or thoughts for her.
About your president. No, I think we all have our problems, but you have a big problem. Because I don't know, even in Africa, sometimes I want to take him out of my mind. But even in Africa, every morning when you wake up, it's like midnight here. So every morning there's something about Trump. It seems like there's nothing going on in the world except Trump. So they don't talk about important issues. And let's not talk about me being in the US. By the time you turn on the TV, I'm still on CNN only Trump.
And it's an interesting question too about how you and Eve as well have kind of translated a sense of not knowing what to do, a sense of urgency, a sense of seeing people who have not yet known how to activate their voices and how to turn that into something very active and specific. You've built an entire city of joy. It's just thinking about what's the things that are the inspirations for you to get up and keep going every day throughout all of the challenges that you're facing.
First of all, I believe in solidarity. I believe in movement. I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in powerful, what they call powerful people. And I think, like all the revolution, didn't start, with guns. So I think we can be, if you are together, in solidarity, and it's all about friendship and sisterhood, not being alone. Because for years during the war, I have to say I was alone, and that's also one of the reasons. Like I told you, I didn't even know who to call, so I started being sick myself, because. By the time you want to change everything and you're alone, I'm just one person. No matter how tall I am, but I'm one human being,
Yeah.
And so I think it's better, sisterhood, friendship is very important. Because I can see now with Eve, like we talk to each other every single day. She's like my other me. And without her, it would have been impossible. Because first of all, she values you, and she push you, like to reach your own limits, to blossom. Because most of the people, when you're radical like us, they can say, oh my God, she's crazy. Oh, Christine again. Oh, Christine is at a meeting. Oh, you better be careful. She's so aggressive. And that's how you succeed.
Yeah, you need other people in partnership with you. Yeah. Ma'am.
Hi. I hear you in terms of being frustrated with politics, but don't we need politics to change the laws to protect the women?
She's asking about what are the limits of politics, and how much do you need politics in order to actually change the laws?
Maybe you can talk about your country, but like in Congo, we have the best laws regarding sexual abuse, but nobody's applying them because of the corruption. That's the problem. In countries like this, yes, but in country like in Congo, we are even afraid, to go to justice, because they simulate justice, and the next day you see your perpetrators on the road who threats you. So women, they don't go to justice anymore.
Ma'am, and then sir over there.
I just wanted to know, either positive or negative, what relationship the government has with City of Joy. Do they try and take credit for it? Do they try and stop you in any way? Do they encourage you? What kind of outside the walls of the City of Joy, how is the government involved? Is it at all positively or negatively?
She's just wondering about the relationship between the government and the City of Joy.
I have to say, I know that they respect our work. Because first of all, they know me they know what I did during the war for the country when we were in a rebel zone. And they know that I have no other ambitions. I don't want to be the president, or I don't want to be, somebody. I just want peace, in the country. And they see the result of our work. So every time I needed them, they gave us the help. But I don't want to be, to be friend with them, because I'm against their politic.
But they haven't obstructed or gotten in the way?
No, I had that before, because I did a film. I did a film with the French TV, about the plundering of Congo. And then I was the enemy of the DRC, Belgium, the whole world, I think, Rwanda, because all the countries were involved and are involved in the plundering of Congo, and the reason of the economic war we have.
We had a question up here.
Were there any attacks on the city?
He's wondering if there's any attacks on the city.
City of Joy?
Yes.
Never. No, never. Thanks God.
I think I saw a hand.
And also we do self-defense.
Yes.
What role did UNICEF play in the building of City of Joy, and do they continue to have a relationship with
We
That was a
divorced.
big sigh. She took a very big sigh. She's just wondering about the relationship of UNICEF with the City of Joy.
It's a long, complicated story, and it was an impossible wedding. You know, everything that started with UN, we call them United Nothing. I'm sorry if we have. No, I do. We do have lots of experience in Congo. You know, at the beginning, we started this campaign. It was a worldwide campaign. It was with UNICEF, and at the end, we had to build City of Joy. So they chose a contractor who couldn't do the work. And at the beginning, I told them, why don't we, oh no, this one. So they came with all the administration. So every time they started building, everything collapsed. So I don't know the money, the money they wasted. Even at the end, Eve is the one with her own money who had to finish the building. So we were like, okay, we finish the building and then leave us alone.
and they have?
They had no choice. You know, first of all, they didn't care at all. I'm sorry to say that, because we came with plans. And I remember one day a VIP delegation, they came to visit. And then they told me, why do you need nice houses like this for women? You know, they come from a village and they will have to go, it will be a shock. And I was like, they deserve the best. Even if it's for 6 months, they deserve the best. And you have to come to City of Joy. They have the most beautiful houses. They have perfect food. They live in paradise.
I'm afraid we have to wrap up for this evening. I just want to invite everybody. There's going to be a series of talkbacks over the course of the next couple of weeks, and I know you'll be back for a couple more. So if you just bring your ticket or come to the lobby and let them know that you'd like to come for any of the talkbacks, you're more than welcome to join any of the conversations that are coming up. And please do go to the City of Joy website. You can find out more information about the documentary that's coming out and also just about the incredible work that they're doing. I just want to say a very, very special thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great night.